Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to talk something about string formatting. So string formatting is nothing but it is essentially a method which allows you to embed some strings with non-strings. So let's say you have some string value and let's say you have some integer values. So what string formatting actually does is that it allows you to combine the strings with the non-strings. So in order to have a better understanding of string formatting, let's go ahead and create a list of numbers and let's see how we could embed those integer values or numerical values with a string. So let's create a list which is called as numbers. So let me just type in numbers. So let's say numbers equals, and let's say we take a few numbers like 4, 5 and 6. So once we have this list with us, now let's learn how to actually combine these numbers with a string. So let's say we want to create a string. So let's name this string as new string. So we type new string equals, and in this case what we are going to do is that we are going to include a string value which is, let's say, numbers. So once we have this numbers string, we give a colon, and here, as we actually want to join these three numbers with these three strings, what you could do is that you could specify a curly bracket, mention 0 here for first number, mention 1 for the second number, and finally mention 2 for the third number. So once you have this string with you, then simply use the format function which allows you to perform the string formatting. So simply give a dot operator and type in format. Now to this format function, you actually need to pass in these three numbers right here. So essentially we have specified the format like we want to have a string which is numbers, and then we actually want to have three numbers over here. But now we actually need to tell Python the particular numbers which we actually want to pass in over here. So we do that by using this format function. So inside format function, let's go ahead and pass these three numbers. So in order to get access to these three numbers, we simply type in numbers, and the first number is obviously going to be present at the 0th position. The second number would be present at the first position, and the third number would be present at the second position. So once we have defined this, we have actually created a string which is called as a new string. Now in order to check if this thing actually works, let's go ahead and let's actually print out the string. So we print out our newly created string, which is new string in this case. So if you save the code and if you try to run this, as you could see, now we got the result as numbers 4, 5 and 6. Now let's say you actually want to have commas in between them. So what you could do is that you could go ahead and simply give out commas here. So you could simply save the code, and if you try to run this, as you could see, now you have commas over here. Now this is essentially useful when you want to display out some date. So let's say we want to display some date like 12/2016. So in this case, the string formatting is actually very useful. So what you could do is that you could specify a format where you have a slash sign over here. So this is going to format the date into this format right here, and you could replace this number by date. So if you save the code now and if you run it, as you could see, you have a proper date in a proper format right over here. Now even if you don't have a list of this kind, even then you could go ahead and format your string. So let's take a simple example for that. So let's say we have a string which is called as A. So let's now define the formatting for this string. So the very first thing which we do is that, let's say you want to have two numbers separated by a slash instead of having three numbers. So let's type in the first number. So for the first number, let's say we define that number by variable x, and let's say the second number is defined by a variable y. So include a slash between them, and then you could type in dot format, and then you could pass in the actual numbers which you want in place of x and y. So let's say x is 100, give a comma, and let's say y is equal to 200. And to simply check the result, let's print out the value of A. So if you save the code and if you run it, As you could see, you have 100/200. So by using string formatting, what you could do is that you could display data in any form which you want. So essentially, to format a string, we actually name a string as something, then type the actual string format in double quotes, and then use the format function. And to this format function, we actually pass in the values which we actually want to display in this particular format right here. So that's it for this lecture, and I hope you guys understood what is string formatting. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.